The bromance is over.
Elon and I had a great relationship. I don't know if we're well anymore. People leave my administration and they love us. And then at some point they miss it so badly. And some of them embrace it and some of them actually become hostile. I don't know what it is. It's sort of Trump derangement syndrome, I guess they call it. But we have it with others too. They leave and they wake up in the morning and the glamour's gone. The whole world is different. And they become hostile. I don't know what it is.
Elon came down with Trump derangement syndrome? The world's richest man has been railing against the big, beautiful bill. Last week, Elon said it can't be big and beautiful. And yesterday, he called it a disgusting abomination, right after Trump had just thrown him a farewell party.
Remember, he was here for a long time. You saw a man who was very happy when he stood behind the Oval desk. And even with the black eye, I said, "You want a little makeup? We'll get you a little makeup." But he said, "No, I don't think so," which is interesting and very nice.
Trump just gave Elon a key to the White House at that party. Guess he has to change the locks now. Elon says the bill's debt slavery and wants Republicans to kill the bill. Trump says Elon should have said something earlier.
I'm very disappointed because Elon knew the inner workings of this bill better than almost anybody sitting here, better than you people. He knew everything about it. He had no problem with it. All of a sudden he had a problem, and he only developed the problem when he found out that we're going to have to cut the EV mandate because that's billions and billions of dollars.
This afternoon, Elon called Trump ungrateful. Without me, Trump would have lost the election. Dems would control the House, and the Republicans would be 51-49 in the Senate. Such ingratitude. Trump says he still would have won.
Elon endorsed me very strongly. He actually went up in campaign for me. I think I would have won. Susie would say I would have won Pennsylvania easily anyway.
Trump knocked Biden out, got shot, jumped back up, put on a McDonald's apron, and swept the swing states. He never trailed. Obviously, Elon's money made a big impact. But if money won elections, then Kamala would be commander-in-chief because she spent twice as much. You can't buy an election. If you could, Musk would have won that Supreme Court seat in Wisconsin. But Musk says Trump's just not the same guy. He's asking, was he replaced by a body double? Musk also says, oh, and some food for thought as they ponder this question. Trump has 3.5 years left as president, but I'll be around for 40 plus years. Elon's basically threatening the primary Republicans who vote for this big, beautiful bill and insinuates he'll be around for decades playing kingmaker. But Trump says he's the president, and Elon overstayed his welcome. Elon was wearing thin. I asked him to leave. I took away his EV mandate that forced everyone to buy electric cars that nobody else wanted, that he knew for months I was going to do. And he just went crazy. Remember, the president said he couldn't get rid of him.
You know, he likes this place. I can't get him out of here. He just likes this place. And you know what? I like having him here, too. He's good.
Trump let Elon move into Mar-a-Lago, hired him at the White House, flew him around Air Force One, and took him to UFC fights. And then there was this. At 3 o'clock this afternoon, Elon says, time to drop the really big bomb. Donald Trump is in the Epstein files. This is the real reason they have not been made public. Have a nice day, DJT. Mark this post for the future. The truth will come out, he says. Elon's calling the president a pedophile. Wow. I don't think Musk's seen the Epstein files, and if Trump was in them, Biden probably would have released him. And everybody knows Trump kicked Epstein out of his clubs and cooperated with the victims' attorneys. But the silver lining is that now Democrats are demanding the release of the Epstein files. Fang Fang's Flame says, release the Epstein files now. Now, if you think it's stopped, nope, it's still going. The easiest way to save money in our budget, billions and billions of dollars, is to terminate Elon's governmental subsidies and contracts. I was always surprised that Biden didn't do it. Remember, the media said Trump was elected because of Musk, and Trump was paying him back by letting him get rich off government. Well, that was a lie, because Trump just killed the EV subsidies. The Wall Street Journal is saying Elon's mad that he lost his subsidies, but who knows? He claims it's spending that has to stop. We don't know. They also said Musk was co-president. They were wrong again. Tesla stock tanking because of this feud. Elon responded immediately saying, in light of the president's statement about cancellation of my government contracts, SpaceX will begin decommissioning its Dragon spacecraft immediately. Elon's taking his rockets and he's going home. This is getting messy. But don't worry, Trump got big balls in the divorce. The 21-year-old Dozier is staying on. And now Elon thinks Trump should be impeached. He wants to doge Trump. And he says the Trump tariffs will cause a recession. This is not how I thought today would go. None of this is about Elon, Trump says. Quote, I don't mind Elon turning against me, but he should have done so months ago. This is one of the greatest bills ever presented to Congress. I didn't create this mess. I'm just here to fix it. This big, beautiful bill is the centerpiece of the Trump agenda. Tax relief, no tax on tips, pay raises for soldiers and military spending on ships and jets, border wall funding, very important, and ICE funding for mass deportations, and money for drill, baby, drill. Trump ran on this and won on this. He didn't run on balancing the budget. He wants to, but this isn't a spending bill. He has 4 years to reduce the deficit. Maybe Musk is publicly distancing himself from Trump to help his brand recover. Maybe he needs liberals to buy his cars. We don't know. We're just spitballing here.
So you'd take him back?
I would take him back.
Democrats are like, yeah, he's a Nazi, but we'll take his money. Sorry about burning your cars. Why don't you just write us a check and we'll call it even? Musk won't forgive what they did to him. Trump's actually pretty forgiving. Vance called him a Nazi, and now he's VP. Megyn Kelly and Trump hated each other, and now she's at his rallies. Musk was an Obama donor, then he backed DeSantis. Then he went all in on Trump, and now he wants him impeached. So he's been all over the place. Will they patch it up? Only those two know. And if it's good for the country, both men are patriots. And hopefully they'll do the right thing. And if they don't, that's okay too.
You have the richest man in the world, Elon Musk, and the most powerful man in the world, President Donald Trump. For this to work, the richest man in the world would have had to subjugate his ego to the most powerful man, because guess who the American people elected? The man sitting behind the resolute desk you are looking at. And Elon Musk, he did a lot of good. He brought attention to spending, to cutting spending. No one wants to touch that issue. He touched it, and there was a lot of personal backlash. He lost value in his companies. He got death threats. But ultimately, President Trump is the one who won the election. And for Elon Musk to say, I won Trump this election, President Trump won all of the swing states. He is the first person in the Republican Party to win the popular vote in 20 years. He had the highest raw vote total of any Republican nominee ever in the history of the party, increased double digits over the last 4 years among Latinos, Black, and young people. No amount of money bought that. What bought that was a movement. And Elon Musk had to decide, I'm either going to fold into this or go away from this.
So what happened today?
Well, I'm beginning to think that they are mad at each other. I mean, I don't want to go. I don't want to go much. Look, this is the soap opera phase of American politics. Everybody can understand it. Everybody can pay attention to it. But in the long run, what's happening with China, what's happening with Russia, what's happening with the big, beautiful bill, those are vastly more important than whether or not Elon Musk is having a temper tantrum. And remember, Musk is the wealthiest guy in the world, but Donald Trump is the most powerful person in the world. And I think probably that Musk kind of forgot that. Musk money comes from having met consumers, having been brilliant. Trump has the vote of 77 million Americans to say he ought to be the commander-in-chief. And in that kind of a contest, there's no question in my mind that 2, 3, 4, 5 months from now, Donald Trump will still be president, and Musk may or may not be relevant. And that partly depends on whether Musk decides to grow up and find a better way of doing this.
Does this kerfuffle affect the China situation? Does it affect the big, beautiful bill? Does it affect Ukraine and space? So what kind of impact will it have?
I think it depends on whether this is a temporary, very intense exchange or becomes kind of a long, permanent struggle. For example, the United States needs SpaceX. SpaceX this year will launch 97% of the satellites worldwide. It's an extraordinary asset for us. To have the President of the United States end up in a power struggle, which is not really much, it's a public relations struggle. There's no power struggle here. One of them is president, the other one isn't president. And I think that's part of what the media doesn't quite get. And I think it's part of what frustrates Elon Musk, is that, you know, he has a fairly high sense of himself, and should. I mean, I think he's a brilliant guy. I think the things he's done are remarkable, but they're remarkable as an entrepreneur. You know, Henry Ford didn't end up running the country. Thomas Edison didn't end up running the country. And in fact, in the end, Elon Musk is not going to end up running the country. So I think probably things will calm down over the next 2 or 3 days. Trump has a lot of really serious things to do, and placating Musk is probably down around number 27 on the list.
So Musk says it's all about debt, and this big, beautiful bill doesn't cut it. Does he have any point there?
That's just, well, no, it's baloney. This bill does more to turn the curve on spending. Look, as you know, I am the only speaker to have helped balance the budget for 4 years in the last century. So I have some notion of how you do this. This is the first step. It's not the last step. It's an important first step. It creates economic growth, which if the Congressional Budget Office wasn't a bastion of idiotic left-wing thinking, by itself, the economic growth would virtually pay for the bill. It has a substantial cut in domestic spending in a very large way. It reforms Medicaid in a very positive way. And I think, you know, Musk probably ought to get a briefing on the real bill rather than his personality feelings.
All right. The only speaker to balance the budget 4 years straight. Gotta love it. Keep giving him advice. Thank you so much, Speaker.
Some food for thought. Here's some food for thought about climate change. Ponder. She pondered the meaning of his words for a long time. Wearing thin. My patience is wearing thin with all these delays. Silver lining. Losing the job was tough, but the silver lining was more free time. Spitballing. We were just spitballing ideas during the meeting. Kerfuffle. There was a kerfuffle over the seating arrangements. Baloney. What he said is just baloney. Railing against. She's railing against the unfair policies. Abomination. The new law was called an abomination by many citizens. Insinuate. He insinuates that she is responsible for the mistake. Subjugate. The army subjugated the rebel forces. Vastly. The situation has vastly improved since last year. Temper tantrum. The child threw a temper tantrum in the store. Placate. He tried to placate the angry crowd with a speech.
If you enjoy this content, please consider subscribing to my channel to stay up to date with future videos. Thank you for watching.